Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're in IT, you know the deal, right? That constant struggle of managing applications on virtual desktops. It feels like this never ending cycle of updates, compatibility problems, the works. But what if there was a better way? Today, we're going to dig into Omnisa Horizon app volumes. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the app management headache. I'm sure you know the one. Then we'll dive into a totally new approach with app volumes. We'll look at the magic behind what they call detached apps, point out the key wins for your team, and then we'll wrap it all up by looking at what this means for building a desktop that's actually ready for the future. Okay, let's start with a problem, something that's going to sound very, very familiar to anyone in IT, the app management headache. We're talking about all those traditional challenges that turn what should be a simple task, just getting the right apps to the right people, into a huge ordeal. So let me ask you this. Does this question hit a little too close to home? You are absolutely buried in golden images. You've got one for the finance department, another one that's just slightly different for engineering, another one for marketing, and every single one needs its own updates, its own patches, its own maintenance. It's just a constant resource-draining cycle. And here's the bottom line. The old way of managing apps is just complex, slow, and expensive. I mean, think about it. Every single time a new app or an update comes along, you've got to crack open that golden image, install the new software, go through all the testing, and then redeploy everything. It's not just a pain. It's a huge drain on your resources, your time, your team's effort, and your storage budget. So what if we could break that cycle for good? Well, that's where App Volumes comes in, with a completely new way of thinking. The core idea is actually really simple, but it is so powerful. Separate the applications from the operating system. So here's the official definition. Omnisys Horizon App Volumes is a real-time application delivery solution. The whole point is that it separates apps from the OS. Instead of baking them into your master image, it packages them into their own little virtual disks. You can almost think of them like portable, plug-and-play app containers. This chart just lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the old world. Apps are baked in, which leads to all that image sprawl and makes updates a nightmare. But on the right with the app volumes model, the apps are completely detached. This means you can get by with just a few clean, pristine, golden images. And when it's time to update an app, you do it one time in one central place for everyone. It is a complete paradigm shift. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Well, this is where we get into the really cool part, the magic behind these detached apps and how they get delivered to your users in a snap. It's actually a beautifully simple three-step process. First, you package the application. You just do it one time, capturing it into a virtual disk. Second, you assign that package. You just hop into your familiar Horizon console and assign it to a user, a group, or a machine. And third, and this is the magic part, the app is instantly attached to the user's desktop the moment they log in, or even when they just click the icon. For the user, it just appears and feels completely native. But what about user personalization? For those users who need to install their own tools. Well, App Volumes has an answer for that too. It's called Writable Volumes. Think of it as a personal virtual disk that follows each user around. It lets them install their own applications, like a special browser plugin or a utility, and have that app stick around every single time they log in, no matter which desktop they hit. So you get centralized control, but your users get their freedom. Okay, so we've seen the problem and we've seen the solution. Now let's talk about the bottom line. What are the key wins here? Why does this really matter for your team and, your budget? Let's just start with a big number, 70%. By moving from dozens of golden images down to just a few, organizations can see up to a 70% reduction in what they need for storage. That's a massive saving in hardware costs and a huge gain in efficiency right off the bat. And the wins just keep on coming. For your users, you get apps on demand, which means way faster login times. For your IT team, management becomes so much simpler with that package once, deliver to many model. We've already talked about how writable volumes give you powerful user personalization. And maybe the best part? It's all managed seamlessly from the Horizon console you're already using. All right, so let's bring all this together and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about a new tool, right? It's really about building a more agile, a more scalable, and a truly future-ready desktop strategy for your whole organization. And it's really important to get this. App Volumes isn't just some standalone thing. It's a key piece of the entire Omnisa Horizon Enterprise platform. That means it's built for scale. It's designed to help your application delivery grow and adapt right alongside your business. And that brings us to our final thought. I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Once you remove all that friction from application delivery, once you can get any app to any user on any desktop instantly, what does that unlock? What would you build next? What new projects, what new ways of working could you and your business finally tackle? That's the real power here.